This is not the easiest video for me to make. I just want to make this very clear before we start. That this video, me making it, it's difficult. It's difficult because I am a big fan of Taylor Swift. Don't get that wrong. I'm a big fan of her. This video is not meant to dissuade you from being a Taylor Swift fan. I still listen to her music even after knowing this. I still love her music. But I can't love her as a person anymore. And it's not just this. I promise you, it's not just Taylor Swift and Selena Gomez attending pro-Palestinian fundraising event. There's going to be a lot more involved in this video. And this is why I'm also not making it in the immediate aftermath of this. I've waited. I wanted to collect evidence, but what it is being pro-Palestine. And I can't support that, especially being Jewish. So, basically, this video is meant to not totally bash her, but if you're a fan of Taylor Swift watching this video, you should lose some respect for her. I lost respect for her. I've talked to people, they've lost respect for her. You should lose a little bit of respect for her, at least. You know, I'm not saying never listen to her again, because her music is still great, but maybe cut it back a little bit, because this is disturbing. It's disturbing, and I don't support any of it. But, you know, you have Taylor Swift attending this pro-Palestinian event. And, you know, on the surface, I initially had no problem with this. Swift attending pro-Palestinian events. On the surface, I didn't really have a big problem with that. Why? Because it was a humanitarian relief, and also I figured, she went to a pro-Palestinian fundraising event, maybe she'll go to a pro-Israel fundraising event. And, listen, I think that what happened in Gaza, what's happening in Gaza, is excessive. And I'm not totally even opposed to giving humanitarian aid to Gaza. But you have to be so careful about it. Because you don't know what of the money is going to helping the people, the innocent people, and what's going to be going to helping the war effort. You don't know who's innocent and who's not. You don't know who is a terrorist and who's not. There are innocent people who are suffering. There are. But you can't tell who is who. And you can't assume that someone's an innocent person either, because they could just totally stab Israel's back. You have to go into this with extreme caution. And I mean extreme caution. It's the same kind of caution you'd go into something if you're making a $5,000 bet. You don't bet $5,000 lightly, because that's a lot to lose. This is the same kind of caution you have to go into it, because you don't know how it's gonna blow up in your face. Me personally, I would say don't do it. But if you want to give it to humanitarian relief, I guess it's fine. But if you do that, you have to also give humanitarian relief to Israel. That's a must. You can't support Palestine and not support Israel, and then have people not claim that you're pro-Palestine. Especially given how all of this is going to be going to Palestine. I mean, criticism's raised down there. And while Taylor Swift has, never spoken out in the war since October 7th, it's still been this way. She's made zero mentions of the destruction of Israel. You have to think about Taylor Swift's bodyguard is literally protecting Israel right now. And she's helping Gaza? So that alone brought me on edge. I thought that maybe it is possible for her to be pro-Palestine, which could lead to anti-Semitism. But I couldn't use just one of it. There's more that goes into it. This video not only talk about why I think this is, but why I think that this is such a big problem with her having a huge fan base. Because this really could, especially with what a fan base says, this really could increase anti-Semitism. It's already a problem. This could make it worse. And I'm telling you right now that if you're a Jewish Swiftie, you just have to lose support of her right now. Because you have to be able to notice that sometimes they'll say things that are pro-Palestine, but you have to not get absorbed into it. And you just have to lose respect for her. I mean, like, it's tough. Because, here's the thing. First of all, is Travis Kelce anti-Semitic? So this is the one thing I actually didn't look up. But hang on, I want to see. Okay, it's not here. Okay, this is disturbing. Okay, sorry, did not mean to tell you that. But this article is like this Taylor Swift really stand for Palestine, and obviously supporters of the Free Palestine movement, they all calling on Taylor Swift. Like, she's never explicitly said that. She's never explicitly been said pro-Palestinian things. Her words make her seem neutral, but there's also evidence to believe why she could still be pro-Palestine. First of all, I don't like the Free Palestine movement. I'm not a big fan of it. Because I believe that, yes, there should be peace between Israel and Hamas. There should be. But, and we'll go over this later, you can't call for a ceasefire without calling for the release of hostages from Israel, for the Israeli hostages. One of which lives in my local area, Oman Nuetra. He's been kept in Gaza for now 172 days as of the recording of this video. 172. Soon we will hit the 6-month mark of this. And I doubt he's going to be home by then. I'm scared. We don't even know if he's alive right now. This is very scary. And there's hundreds of them too. I've been putting it out on my Instagram, which you can follow at Gutman9 on Instagram, same as my YouTube channel, where I've been a lot of the time putting out pro-Israel messages. And, I stand with Israel, and I think that all of these hostages need to be brought home. I think that if you release the hostages, then yes, the war should stop. But you have to release the hostages first. The Israeli hostages released first, and then we can talk about how maybe not to make the people in Gaza suffer. But you can't do that until the hostages are released. And I think that, a lot of her fan accounts, they are asking Taylor Swift to support Palestine. And she's not. Which seems like a good thing. But there's more to the story. But I don't know. Because what I feel like you don't understand what this is that yes, Taylor Swift fans, they are in a position where they do think this. They do think that this is that Palestine needs to be saved. But here's the thing, though. These are Taylor Swift fan accounts. I'm not leaving her blameless. I just can't. I can't leave her blameless because why would her fans think this? Why would her fan base be anti-Semitic? And that's what my problem is. Today, I actually did a presentation in Spanish class about Taylor Swift. And we planned it a week ago before I was able to make this connection. And I had to present today. And I remember saying at the start in English before I had to speak in Spanish, I actually remember saying that I was aware that our political opinions don't align, but I chose to leave it out. A big part why I chose to leave it out was because I planned it, and I wanted to do it from the perspective of when I still had a ton of respect for her. But my respect for her has been shot in half. And I'm sure I'm not the only one with this view if we make this realization. And she was spotted attending a charity event for Palestine in New York City. And, you know that, like, I'm sorry, I this is tough, but like, basically, she was at a pro-Palestinian event, and that's a part of it too. Like, I think that if you stay totally out of it, I think that it's fine. But once you start doing this, once you start doing this, you have to then also bin into a thing. Now, this article is written from a pro-Palestinian point of view. And as a result, I find this article to be a bit disgusting. And yes, it's from Muslim Girl. So I should have figured out before I did that this was going to be more anti-Semitic garbage. But it's tough. Because how many Swifties are Jewish? And, like, they're all Jewish Swifties. Because you think about it, if you're an observant Jewish Swiftie, most of them fall, on a Friday or Saturday night, so that almost every show falls on Shabbat. People are upset about this. So you have to realize that this is someone who has a significant Jewish fan base. And personally, I'm not observant. Do I keep some Jewish holidays? Absolutely. I absolutely keep some Jewish holidays. I remember a few years in a row where I kept Passover before COVID happened and that became too difficult. I never resumed, and this is not going to be the year that I resume it either. I won't even be able to do a proper Seder this year because I'll be going to Colorado. But I do stuff on Shabbat. I work, I drive, I use my phone a lot. I do a lot of stuff, on Shabbat, even though you're not supposed to. I'm not that observant. But you have fans who are. And, I mean, it's tough for them, but you also have to then come to the perspective of that. But, what this was basically me trying to show you how Swifties are Jewish. So now, we have to go back to why Taylor Swift is pro-Palestine. So we have this article saying was Taylor Swift supposed to say free Palestine in the Grammys, where she didn't. But again, like I feel like I feel like I know why Taylor Swift is starting to do this. Because again, a lot of the evidence they pointed to shows that she's not really that pro-Palestine. So now I'm going to make a few connections before I continue through my Google searches. So, connection number one is that Taylor Swift is not going to say something obvious pro-Palestine. Because that would be stupid. She'll lose a ton of supporters. Because there are a lot of people who are calling this destruction in Gaza, a massacre. You also are going to have people who are saying that's justified who are still fans of her. And I'm not saying that's totally justified, but, I mean, come on. I stand with Israel. I told you that. So she's not going to be dumb enough to explicitly state it. But then again, I feel like her silence is deafening. Because I feel like if she was to be pro-Israel, she wouldn't have the same backlash as being pro-Palestine would. Being pro-Palestine, I feel like there might honestly genuinely be more people who are pro-Palestine than pro-Israel. That might genuinely be the truth. But they're not going to be quite as avid about it. You're much more likely to lose support for someone if you know that they are supporting a group that has tried to eradicate yours for many years than, the opposite. Because her saying something like that, it just immediately becomes anti-Semitic. Honestly, if she did that, I probably wouldn't be allowed to listen to her music at all. If she were to say something so blatant. I don't think I would be able to listen to her music anymore. I don't think I'd be allowed to. But, again, Taylor Swift attended an anti-Israel benefit, according to that article from the National Post, which has been called biased and anti-Israel. And yet, and again, look, she's never said anything about the mass murders of Jews on October 7th, and, so then there's this. Why Taylor Swift owes an apology to every Jewish Swiftie, which I, again, recently found. And let's just listen to it.
Biased view of any Palestinian ability for her demonization of it raise money for Americans and apologize.
Okay. Do I agree with her on the last point that she should totally be boycotted? Absolutely not. I think that for what it is, she shouldn't totally be boycotted. And that's why the comments are saying that you are the one that needs to be boycotted. But everything else before that is right. It's totally accurate. Like she's never spoken out against the mass murders of the Jews. She never went to an event to help them. And while it's good that she didn't explicitly say something like "Free Palestine," I feel like Taylor Swift still went to an event to help them, and she's supporting the wrong cause. And yeah. I mean, and obviously, Megyn Kelly got a lot of backlash for that. But I mean, yeah. So basically, what am I trying to get out of all this? What I'm trying to get out of all this is the fact that basically, it's not entirely obvious that she's pro-Palestine. But you put the pieces together, it really starts to paint a picture. She hasn't said anything about the issue, but yet she attended a pro-Palestine event and never attended a pro-Israel event. And why are her fans saying free Palestine? That's also suspicious. Obviously, one of these things you can overlook, but I feel a little bit betrayed. And my respect for her has gone down. Because at the end of the day, there could be a scenario in which we're all faced with two options. Option one is, do we support Taylor Swift? And option two is, do we support Israel? And any Swiftie who's Jewish must support the option that protects Israel, that protects the Jewish people. And that is the priority. So, while this video wasn't exactly meant to make you totally hate on her, you have to think about this before you listen to her music. How much can you really support her? Again, I'm not trying to totally bash her, but it's clear that she's being pro-Palestine. Now, I did actually want to see, did Taylor Swift call for a ceasefire? But there's a reason why I feel like there's a reason why, I'm going to get into it, why why I feel like you can't just call for a ceasefire. So first of all, you obviously have this tweet was deleted. So okay, I think I'm on the wrong video. Is my recording still working? Cause I don't know. I don't know if my screencastify is still on. But and I feel like we have Renee Rapp who said this. And I don't know. I don't know. Taylor Swift also just people to vote for Democrats, which I feel like also plays a role into this, because Democrats are the ones who are promoting anti-Semitism. And again, listen, I know I've been studying a lot during this video, but you have to take me seriously on this here, because Taylor Swift could very well be anti-Semitic. We can't let that happen.